Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Volvo Christian, and also welcome to this quite special XC40 video. Today's topic will be about the tailored wool upholstery that we find in this exact XC40. Just wanted to start on the outside so you can admire the beautiful location here. So this is a model year 23 Silver Dawn XC40 Recharge Twin. It's in the ultimate spec. And this is a press car that I have been lending from Volvo Norway for the last 2 weeks. I'm on my way now to deliver back the keys up at Volvo Car Fornebu. But let's now jump in. It's really cold and windy here today, and we do have to get in to admire the beautiful tailored wool upholstery. So here we have it, the star of the show. And the main reason why I wanted to test this exact XC40, the tailored wool fog melange upholstery. I'm a huge fan of this interior and the textile material also, both for the visual look and also the comfort and the overall sensation you get by having the tailored wool. But this video will be divided into 3 chapters. We're going to start off with my previous experiences. Then we're going to look at the availability and what models you can get it in. And lastly, we will look at the pros and cons with the tailored wool upholstery. I really hope you will enjoy this video, because I will definitely enjoy making it and sharing this experience. But let's start now with my previous experiences, because this isn't the first time I'm testing these tailored wool seats. This is actually the 4th time I'm testing it. The first experience I have was in a XC90. It was a previous press car as well. Osmium grey inscription XC90. I had that one on the summer vacation of 2020. I drove that like 4,000 kilometers. In that one, during summer, Norwegian summer, so maximum temperature was probably around like 20-25 degrees. And that one had the slate grey, so a slightly darker grey than this light grey. And then I had a S90 later that year, around December time, a beautiful platinum grey inscription S90. With an absolutely gorgeous interior combination, because in addition to the tailored wool, it had the linear walnut decor inlays. Absolutely beautiful, combined with the Eurofors crystal gear shifter. And that was absolute masterpiece and my favorite combination with the tailored wool. Because in the 90 series, you also got tailored wool in the door inserts. So the tailored wool combined with the linear walnut and the leather wrapped dashboard that follows over in the doors. Absolute masterpiece. I really love that S90. And then after that one, I had a V90 cross country, also with the tailored wool. I had that one. I've actually had that one twice. At 2 occasions, I had that press car. Gorgeous interior. And I had that one during summer and winter. And now, so the 4th car I have with the tailored wool, the XC40. So that means I've tested the tailored wool in all seasons. I've had it on summer, winter, and also autumn, and now it's early winter. And I actually find the tailored wool, because someone or many people will think that this is pretty hot in summer, and that is pretty pleasant in winter, of course. But I don't find these to be too hot in summer. They're actually quite good on adjusting the temperature or regulating the temperature. If we compare it to the WeaveTech seat in the Polestar 2, I actually find them to be pretty hot during summer days, especially in the lower back. We got a Norwegian word called clam. I'm not sure if we have a similar in English, but you get hot in the lower back, like uncomfortable. But I find these seats to be very good during summer and also pretty delicious on winter. So the temperature are absolutely spot on. I'm a huge fan of these tailored wool. So that was my previous experiences. And totally I've probably driven around 10,000 kilometers with the tailored wool. So I'm actually I actually got much experience with these seats. Then we go to my second point, that's availability. Now we are in a XC40 and you also get these seats in the C40. In the X and C40 this is called fog melange. This is the style. And if I try to open the doors and get out in the cold, I have to show you something. Because the XC40 and C40, they have only one seat available, and this is this style here. So there's no difference in like a sport seat or comfort seat. It's just these seats. So the tailored wool just gets wrapped over the regular seat. Manual cushion extension, and it's like semi-okay side support. I wish they were slightly firmer or could adjust, but in the C40 and XC40 this is the seat that they wrap the tailored wool over. However, in the 60, I just have to get back again, it's too damn cold. However, in the 60 and 90 series, Volvo wraps the tailored wool over their sport seats. Just try to engage the climate. I hope the fan doesn't make too much noise. I just need some heat. As I said, in the 60 and 90 series, Volvo wraps their tailored wool over their sports seats. So that has a pretty firmer side support on the cushion, and it has a little edge here on the front of the cushion extension. And you also have more massive side bolsters. So there you have to, if you prefer the comfort seats in the 60 and 90, you have to make some sacrifices if you go for the tailored wool, because it's only available over the sports seats. But I will go for that either way, because I'm such a huge fan of the tailored wool. And then if we look at the different models in the 60 and 90 series. So the tailored wool are available in the S60. It's available in the V60. And it's also available in the XC60. In all of those three models, you get this kind of brightness. It's just the midnight sync, because the previous slate gray, that's been discontinued. So it's just this kind of brightness, light gray. And in the 60 series, it's combined with the driftwood, the core inlays. And also you get this insert, this upper inserts in the door will be tailored wool, at least in the 60 series. I tried to find the V60 cross country with the tailored wool. We can't get the V60 cross country here in Norway, so I tried to configure it yesterday on the Swedish page, but I couldn't find tailored wool as an option. So maybe Volvo have discontinued the tailored wool for the cross country version. But you have to check that with in your country. It could be differences. And then if we jump over to the 90 series, it's also the same there regarding the seats, wrapped over the sports seat. But in the 90 series, the tailored wool will also go both under and over the armrest in the door. And there it's combined, at least for the S and V, with the linear walnut. No, I'm sorry. The grey ash. They removed the linear walnut. So it's the grey ash, the core inlays. And here you can see it in the S90. And then the V90. And then if we look at the XC90, that one is combined with the blackened ash, the core inlay. And it's the same story for the cross-country version of V90. We can't get it here in Norway, so I tried the Swedish configuration, and I couldn't find the tailored wool as an option. So it looks like it's gone for the cross-country version. And it's also the same brightness. It's the midnight sync. That Volvo calls it in the 60 and 90. It's just the 40 series that has the name Fog Melange, but it's the same kind of brightness for this grey textile. For model year 23, Volvo also included this white piping, also follows on the headrest, and same in the rear seats. I'm not really a huge fan of this white piping. I preferred it as it was before, but anyway, the biggest issue I have are this seat tag saying wool blend performance. I think this is slightly oversized. It's too big. Before, Volvo had a Swedish flag here, and that was a cooler touch. Since Volvo are a Swedish brand, maybe I will get a bunch of comments now saying Volvo are Chinese, but Volvo are Swedish and they have factories around the world, both in China, America, Belgium, Malaysia, and in Sweden. But this oversized tag, I will probably just get that removed or rip it off. I'm not a fan of this oversized tag. So that was the availability. 60 series, 90 series, 40 series. And then we have some sweet additions. Volvo has also decided to continue this tailored wool. So in the new EX90 that just got revealed, we also find this tailored wool upholstery. And that's pretty cool. I will put in some pictures of the EX90 version of the tailored wool. And as another little treat, Polestar cars. Polestar doesn't offer the tailored wool in their Polestar 2, but you can get it in the Polestar 3 actually. And that builds on the same platform and underpinnings as the EX90. But the weird little, or the fun little twist are with Polestar, they doesn't deliver this light grey. They actually got a black wool mix. And that looks pretty good. And that will also have a positive advantage when we talk about the pros and cons later. So I'm actually quite pleased that Polestar decides to go black for the tailored wool. I also wish Volvo could offer a black tailored wool. That would be very good. So that was all in regards to previous experience and availability. And now we come to the real touchy parts, the pros and cons. And I will try to step out of the car once again, so you can get the overall sensation, so you know what I'm talking about. And just look at this. You know, most Volvo interiors are black. I've had a bunch of Volvos with a black interior, and that's all fine and all good, but just look at the ambience you get when you go for something like this. Tailored wool. I previously had two Volvos with a light interior and I absolutely loved it. I had my XC60 with a blonde interior, and I also have the latest V60 now, also with a blonde interior. It looks so good. And just look at the ambience you get when you have this interior. So warm and inviting. And this tailored wool are actually quite cozy. You get a cozy atmosphere when you go for this tailored wool. I'm such a huge fan. yes, it requires some more maintenance and love and care, but just the ambience, that's one of the biggest pros in my book. One of the biggest pros in my book are the ambience and sensation, the interior sensation you get. Maybe I can tune on the lights again. The overall sensation you get by having these seats. So that's the biggest pro. Another pro are the temperature adjustment. It regulates temperature pretty good, so you won't experience to be too hot or too cold in summer or winter. They are actually pretty darn good. So that's the pros for me, both the temperature and the visual look and the warm and cozy interior this delivers. It's something else. It brings something else to the table from otherwise dark interior. And Volvo's C40 and XC40, they have pretty funky interior options. You know, before you could get the lava red carpets to spice it up. And then now you can get the fjord blue carpets. I'm usually not a fan of a colored carpet. It looks cool, but then you have your dirty shoes and boots, and the carpets gets pretty darn dirty. So I always preferred black carpets. However, on the seats, I do find these lighter styles, especially compared when you have everything else in black, to be very a visual treat, eye candy. It gives so much to the interior sensation and ambience. And I've gotten a bunch of praise and good comments when I show people these seats. All of them are amazed by these seats. Slightly concerned about the cons, but just the look of it are a huge thumbs up and the biggest attraction for me, especially in the 90 series where the tailor wheel follows over in the door panels. That's the real treat. So that was the pros. And now we come to the more challenging parts, the cons. And that's obviously about the care and maintenance and the stain resistance. That's the biggest concern with everyone I talk to. How do these, what's the English word? How do these cope with stains? And if you spill chocolate, coffee, Coca-Cola, or some food or stuff like that. So I'm gonna touch upon that in this section of the video. And yes, this textile, first off, that is a textile that requires some extra attention and the English word again, preparations. I will put in the word of it just requires some extra love and attention. And then it's the lighter style, the light gray. So a slight spill of chocolate or Coke will be very visible immediately. And I've had this for 2 weeks, and then with previous experiences I also had a bunch of tailored wool experiences and time, and just a couple of occasions I have spilled something like chocolate or Coca-Cola, but it was fairly easy to get off. I just had a wet cloth and just pushed it over and held it over to get the stain away. I talked to a detailer yesterday, and she had tried to wash away a Snickers spill. Someone had melted chocolate, like a Snickers bar, in the seats, and that was a real pain in the ass to get away. But with some hot steam or like hot water in steam, she managed to get it away, and also with some chemistry and detergents, she managed to get it away. So it requires some, if you first spill on it, It's not just putting a bunch of water and rubbing it, because then the textile could get like you can have like little studs. Maybe if you can see this, I don't know if it's visible. If you rub it too much, you will slightly damage the textile material, and it will get like probably with small studs, and that's not so nice. I've also talked to another guy that has these seats, and actually water could leave marks in the seat. If you spill water in the back seat and you weren't able to dry it up instantly, he had some marks in the seat where you can see where the water was. However, Volvo says that these seats are supposed to be stain resistant, and that they should be more resistant to stains than you would think. I really want to do an experiment with these seats, but I have to ask Volvo for permission in order to maybe like this outer part here, just spill some Coca-Cola, some chocolate, or something else messy like maybe ketchup, and just leave it on for a little hour, and then try afterwards to wash it away using different techniques. And I think maybe steam are the best option to clean it. Or I also got a suggestion about dry ice, that could be also used, at least for professionals doing detailing. But I'm just used to a wet cloth, hot water on a wet cloth, and just lay it over and just press slightly, and just a little bit of rubbing to get off. But I know that the cleaning parts are the most challenging part and concern regarding these seats. But in my experience, I have also always gotten away the things that I have spilled on it. However, you do have to make some adjustments and preparations, or you have to adjust slightly when you have the lighter style. Same as I did when I had the blonde Nappa leather. You have to think twice before stepping into the car with a hot dog from your local gas station filled with ketchup and sennep, or mustard. Mustard. Maybe think twice before stepping into the car. Maybe eat it on the outside to avoid spilling. And I did that every time with the blonde seats of my XC60. Think twice before stepping in. What you have, just eat on the outside. Same with like McDonald's and stuff. Think twice and be careful with these lighter materials. Even if it's pretty easy to wipe it away if you have the leather seats. If you have kids, maybe I would consider getting a cover for the rear seats, at least if they often eat or drink in the car. But just look at this. It looks so good, but it do requires some love and care. But the pros, it looks absolutely awesome, and I do also love that it's combined with the Euroforce crystal gear shifter. But I also understand that this is let's say pain in the ass to keep clean, especially if you love eating, or maybe if you spill often, like with coffee and hot chocolate. Maybe I would think twice before getting these seats. But I would love to do an experiment, so if you want to see such an experiment, just comment under. I will ask Volvo for permission to spill something in these awesome seats. Or maybe I can do it myself, because I've actually ordered an XC40 with exactly these seats. Tailored wool. I will just try to postpone the XC40 slightly, since the BSD are coming earlier than expected. So I think I'm gonna round it up here. If you have the tailored wool, please share your experiences. Also, if you have spilled something and how you got it away, if you got it away, I would love to hear from your ownership experiences. So with that, I'm gonna try to get outside here. It's not so windy now. So thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys in another video. So take care and bye bye.